Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, October 24th of 2021. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. I'm so excited to be with you today. As I mentioned last week, I was in a writing retreat earlier this year. And, we went into the nice meditative space and called to the book that wanted to be written, asked if there's a book that wants to be written, what is the name of the book, what is the book about, and then asked for the download to come through. And the book that came through for me is called, working title, The Answer is Love, Questions to Explore as we Transition into an Era of Peace. And I'm pretty sure that's actually going to be the actual title as well. And it was a series of questions followed by responses to those questions. And they give us an opportunity to go into self-inquiry and explore our inner belief systems and patterns and what we need to do as our human being selves with free will and with our intact egos to prepare ourselves to live in an era of peace, and God willing that we could be because I believe the frequencies of the planet, we hear this all the time, the frequencies of the planet are increasing, and we are moving into those, living in those higher vibrations. And we can transition actually ahead of it and be in the higher vibrations now and ushering in this era of peace in a beautiful, harmonious way. Or we can resist and struggle against it, and the struggle will be ours to choose, right? It's our own struggles. It's and it's part of the humanity. It's part of what we do. But anyway, so this question last week we did an overview. So if you haven't heard that one, you're welcome to go back and listen to the replay of last week. That was for October 17th. It was called What is Needed to Live in an Era of Peace. So you can listen to that if you haven't already. It's not a prerequisite to today, though. So you can continue to listen to today. Today is the very first question that is listed in the book currently. It's, what if God is a God of love? Why is there so much cruelty in the world? Why so much hatred and fighting and pain? And so today I'm going to bring us into our prayer and healing circle, invite us all in so we can set the space for our virtual meeting space. And then, so that's our intro meditation that we do each week. We're going to do that. And then, I just will ask you to stay in that meditative space and open the ears of your heart and listen with your heart as I read the response that came through. These responses are short. There's, about 500 words. So it'll be just a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. I'll read that response and then guide us through a self-inquiry, self-exploration. And I invite you to just let your heart be open. Listen with your consciousness to the inner wisdom of your heart, the voice of your heart, and see what it wants to show you, what it wants to share with you. And of course, at the end of the call, after we shut off the recording, I will give an opportunity for sharing, and I'd love to hear what comes through for you. I'd love to hear what questions you have, what support you feel you need, anything of that nature. And, so I invite you to stay on for that time. I'm sure it will help me as I'm editing the book as well. So I appreciate any comments or feedback you have. All right, with that, let's go ahead and come into our prayer and healing circle, meditation and healing circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee. We come together as one, as we are one. We come together as one. And let's bring everything to face the center of the circle. Let's bring our senses, our faces, our eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and all of our consciousness. Bring everything to face into the center of our circle. And take a breath. You can bring your heart center to face into the center of our circle. That funnel of energy that extends from the front of your chest, bring that in to face the center of our circle. And as you inhale again, just let yourself drop into your hips. Like inhale, draw all of your energy into your body. Exhale, drop into your hips. And just bring your belly and everything to be present with you in this circle with us. And together let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of your pure divine light. Just imagine, feel, perceive this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle. And let's invite this light to purify the space. The purifying, pure divine light. This cleansing and purifying the space, cleansing the dust, the cobwebs from the old ways of thinking and being, cleansing and bringing in light. Bringing in light cleanses the shadows, brings what's behind the shadows to light. What creates the shadows brings them to light. We invite that as well. And of course, with mercy and unconditional love. And as this purifies our space, just let your senses, your eyes and your sense of sight, your ears, your sense of hearing, your nose, your sense of smell, your mouth, your sense of taste and texture, in all of your cells, just let everything be met with this pure divine light. And let it enter into your physical body through your sensory organs and your sensory perceptions. And let this pure divine light travel through your neurological pathways into your central nervous system as well as your peripheral nervous system, is cleansing and purifying any of the old pictures, patterns, beliefs, traumas, pain and suffering that you may still be carrying or your nervous system may still be on alert to. Anything that is not needed in your present day, let that be cleansed and purified with this pure divine light. And just breathe it in. Let it enter into your heart center as well. Any of the tension that's held in the heart space, let that pure divine light stream in through your heart center. As you inhale, and just let it go, let it release. And just let it cleanse. Bring your heart into a state of rest and relaxation. Just let your heart soften and open. And in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. Let's call together to our source and ask for that unconditional love. And this is very important to our call today. So feel, sense, perceive that vibration or imagine that vibration of unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle, filling all of our space with pure unconditional love. The love doesn't care what shadows are there. It doesn't care what may be there that creates the shadows. It doesn't care about anything. It doesn't care whether it's light or dark, or high or low, or any of those things, good or bad. Love is unconditional. So just let this pure, unconditional love stream into the center of our circle. Streaming in, cleansing, healing, purifying, and holding. The unconditional love is so loving. It holds and cradles and envelops and infuses. So let this pure divine love, just let yourself rest into it and receive it. Receive it in through your pores. Let it absorb into your body. And let yourself breathe in through your heart center. Just breathe in that pure, unconditional love. Inhale it in through your heart center. Let your heart, that funnel of energy, just let that pure, unconditional love stream into your heart center. And as that streams in, just let your conscious body lean back toward the front of your spine, like you're leaning into your body, leaning toward the front of your spine, and let your spine upright and lengthen. And let your consciousness drop into that space, and let that pure, unconditional love and divine light stream in through your heart center and through your head center, through the top of your head, and shower your conscious body with this pure divine light and unconditional love. Just let yourself be showered by it, and let your pores of your skin absorb it. Let it stream through the core of your body, cleansing, purifying, healing, loving. And let yourself be immersed in unconditional love. Oh, nice inhale. You can give an audible sigh as you release. Just let yourself release more and more of the tension and rest into this pure divine light and unconditional love. Inhaling in and exhaling with the you can let that come all the way from your belly. Do that a few times. Inhaling into your core and exhaling with the And as you vocalize this to whatever extent you want and feel comfortable with, just let your jaw have some movement and relax. And you can let that vibration, as you vocalize, let that vibration come all the way from your belly. And just let your belly just come to relax and rest in this circle with you. You can put your hands on your belly. You can put one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. And just feel the connections, the electrical circuits moving through your body with this pure divine light and unconditional love. And together we call on our source, in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your vibration of eternal compassion. And let's just feel, perceive this eternal compassion, this vibration streaming into the center of our circle. And compassion is the womb that contains all of our existence. It holds, surrounds. I call it eternal because it extends beyond the realm of time and space. And we live in a realm and exist in a realm of time and space, in the 3D material realm. And compassion exists and envelops the entirety of our existence beyond the creation of time and space. It is the bridge between the worlds. It is the womb that contains us all as one body. So let yourself rest into this compassion. Let yourself feel held and cradled and contained and protected in this womb of compassion, the cosmic womb of compassion. And allow yourself to rest into this holding space, holding, nurturing, loving, compassionate space. And let yourself be held and feel the safety of this unconditional love and compassion. It's total acceptance, protection, connection. Just feel the safety of that and allow your whole being just curl up into that and rest. And feel held. And breathe. Breathe that in. And I invite you to especially feel the protection and the safety and the holding of this. Today's topic is about if God is a God of love, why is the world so full of cruelty? Why is there so much cruelty in the world? Why is there pain and hatred and fighting? So see if you can allow yourself to stay held in this space and just take some breaths into your heart. I invite you to listen with the ear of your heart. Just open the ears of your heart and invite your heart to listen, and invite your mind just to witness your heart as it listens. Okay? So in other words, we don't want the heart to jump to the conclusions, the mind to jump to the conclusions without listening and observing the listening of the heart, or the response of the heart. So in the name of the one, most merciful, ever compassionate. If God is a God of love, why is there so much cruelty in the world? Why the pain, hatred, and fighting? God loves all unconditionally, so much that God created us and let us go. He set us free to live as we wish, to live on our own, to discover and explore life without the parental confinement and constraints. But in reality, God never leaves us. He is in us, surrounding us, holding, containing everything. He breathes us, inspires us, motivates us, and gives us the ability to resist his motion that propels his own life force through us. God is unconditional love. And I'm using the pronoun he. This is an aside. I'm using the pronoun he. God has no gender. So it could be he, could be she, could be it. So feel free to substitute what is more pleasing for you. And I may interchange. So how can we know unconditional love unless we put conditions to the test? This is reading again. How can we know unconditional love unless we put conditions to the test? And we certainly do that in our lifetime many times. When was the last time you put a condition on love? For yourself or for another? For giving, for receiving? When was the last time you thought that something or someone would not be worthy of love until he changed, or until he healed, or maybe never? This is your chance to test the unconditional nature of love itself. Can one drop into the ocean and receive love when he has been turned away, causing harm or strife? I hope so. I believe absolutely in this truth. The love is as present as the air we breathe and the ground we walk on. We are swimming in the ocean of love, trying not to get wet. First, let's just drop in and get wet. Get saturated, soaked. Let's be hydrated in every cell. Let's receive until the cells are so full they become ocean. And there is more ocean than skin or tissues until there is only ocean, and your cells are like particles of sand or drops of water within the ocean. Until there are no more drops, only ocean. An ocean that can soar through the cosmos, that contains the whole cosmos. Let's swim. Let's swim, shall we? When I was first beginning on my spiritual journey after a spontaneous spiritual awakening, I had a recurring dream. I was in a building made of lots of concrete in a downtown area. The water was rising in the streets, and it was coming into the building. I was running up the stairs, trying to stay above the water, but the water kept rising. The next thing I knew, I was up on the roof, and the water kept rising. It was up to my knees, then up to my waist, and up to my neck. I couldn't get above it anymore, no matter what or how hard I tried. I was struggling and grasping for breath, and then a strong, majestic, cosmic voice came in and said, "Just swim." It filled me with peace and certainty. In that moment, I let go. I dissolved into that ocean and became one with it, in total flow and harmony. The poet Rumi says, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop." If pure God consciousness is unconditional love, how can anything that emanates from that consciousness be outside the realm of unconditional love? Love is love. Love loves. And we are free to be with, to be in, to resist, to test, to say no, to say yes, to struggle against or flow in harmony with, but we are still from love, of love, one love. You consummate your love of love itself. Love. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are an ocean in a drop. So take a moment and just breathe with that. Breathe and just be with your heart. Be with your heart and listen with the ear of your heart and let your mind perceive the responses and the wisdom of your heart. And for our self-exploration piece, self-inquiry, I'm going to go back to that paragraph right in the middle. It said, "Can one drop into the ocean and receive love when he has been turned away or causing harm or strife?" And I invite you to sit with that question for a moment and take that in to the questioning of yourself. And just notice, as a human being, there are always places where there's a part inside of ourselves saying, "Oh, but I've done this wrong, and I won't be worthy of receiving love until I fix this." And just see if you notice any place inside your heart or inside your body that tenses up with that, or that closes down, or any pictures or voices that come up around that. And just notice. And if there is something that comes up for you, let's just invite that unconditional love, that vibration of unconditional love, to come and surround that space. Remember, love has no conditions. Only we as human beings put conditions on love, and that's part of our journey here. We put conditions on love that say there cannot be love until this is fixed, until this is healed. This is too big of a mistake. It totally cancels out all of my unworthiness and natural existence with divine love. That's the voice. So invite this place to be held in the unconditional love and to feel the existence of the unconditional love. Invite this place to feel it and rest into it. And if it can't rest into it, that's okay. Just be gentle with it. And as this unconditional love surrounds that space, so let it just witness. How about just witness how it responds? And if it needs a gentle invitation, just give it a gentle invitation to feel the unconditional love. You can give it a mental reminder that love knows no conditions. Love is ever present. Love is here. That it was given the experiences of this life in order to test the conditions so as to know that there are no conditions to love. We put our conditions to the test, and love is love and available no matter what. But just notice, see if this space, as it's surrounded in the unconditional love, see if the barriers that are protecting it, that are hiding it, see if those begin to melt, begin to fade away. And see if that place can begin to receive. You can imagine also if there's a particular condition or something that comes up from your own childhood, you can imagine how you would be with a child who made a mistake or something perceived as a mistake. How you might want to love that child and hold that child and forgive that child and accept that child, be with that child, teach that child in a healthy, productive way. And imagine if that is you, and you are going back to hold that child and to be with that child and love that child. Let yourself feel the compassion and the love. And help that child to receive the unconditional love that is always loving, always forgiving, always present. Because underneath everything that we sense and feel, everything that we do or think, is a place inside of you that knows love and has experienced something on this world that feels a conflict with that and is trying to figure it out. And that's what we're here for. There's nobody here that's not trying to figure it out. Just see if that place can receive the love and rest into the love, be held in the love. Be the love, because ultimately it's all love. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. Love is as present as the air we breathe and the ground we walk on. We are swimming in the ocean, trying not to get wet. First, let's just drop in and get wet. Saturated, soaked. Let's be hydrated in every cell. Let's receive until the cells are so full they become ocean. And there is more ocean than skin or tissue until there is only ocean, and your cells are like particles of sand or drops of water within the ocean until there are no more drops, only ocean. An ocean that can soar through the cosmos, that contains the whole cosmos. Be the drop. Be the ocean. And swim. Swim. Let yourself swim through the cosmos of unconditional love. Just let yourself feel and experience, to witness, to swim. And notice everything exists within this ocean of unconditional love. If you have my 10 spiritual principles of the human existence, that's number 10. Everything exists within the ocean of unconditional love. Love is all there is. So let yourself, as the vibrations are, the frequencies are increasing on our planet, and we are moving into an era of peace. Those who are moving, we can allow, moving with this, shall I say, we can allow our own frequencies to be increased. The more we let this resistance, those blocks and barriers to love, another Rumi poem says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers that you have built within yourself against it. As we find more of these blocks and barriers and release them, let them be held in the unconditional love. Let them dissolve into the ocean. We release our resistance and become one with that ocean. More and more all the time. And as we're doing that, we're increasing the frequencies of our vibration and moving into that era of oneness with unconditional love, the era of peace. And this is how you can be the change now and help to usher in the era of peace, help to lead the way by shifting your personal vibration as we become the change we wish to see in the world. Be the change we wish to see in the world, as Gandhi says. Let that restrictions and constrictions and blocks and barriers dissolve into the ocean of love. And it's like one of those time release capsules where the outer thing melts and the inner in your case, your core being of light, can then disperse throughout the ocean, bringing more and more light to the ocean and increasing the vibrations of the frequencies of the ocean more and more and more as your inner light disperses, becoming one with the ocean. We just breathe into that and swim with that. And I want to go back to one more piece, because there are our personal blocks and barriers from the mistakes we've made individually. And then there is the stuff that happens in the world. The stuff that we say, but I haven't been a cruel person, not intentionally, but boy, there's a lot of cruelty out there. And again, this is true. What I want to invite you to do right now is, if something has come up for you of that nature, and we all carry that. So let's go ahead and just let that part come up as well. What about the cruelty in the world? And just notice how your body responds and how your heart responds when that piece comes up as well. Notice if you carry some vibration of it in your body, kind of like we take it in and then we encapsulate it to protect ourselves from it. Let those encapsulated energies, let those work their way out of your body and drift into the cosmic soup, and also be held in the unconditional love and those places inside of you that have felt wounded and wounded and hurt from that that ickiness of the world, the cruelty in the world. All the shocks that you've taken in just from hearing news. Let's let those release from you and let them drift into the ocean of unconditional love. And this is just the energies you are carrying and your responses, your bodily responses and emotional responses and energetic and spiritual responses to this cruelty in the world. Let those release from your body so that your being can resonate more with the unconditional love and the peace. This is going to help you to shift into that era of peace and to become one with that ocean of unconditional love. Let those things release from your body. And let that place of inner light, the divine light, and the inner compassion and peace, let that fill these spaces. Let that unconditional love resonate throughout all of those places as these energies are being released from your body, your mind, and your heart. Let them be filled with unconditional love so that your being is resonating at the highest possible frequency for you in this moment. Breathing in that unconditional love, feeling yourself held in that unconditional love, surrounded by unconditional love, infused with unconditional love. Be in the ocean, get wet, become saturated with unconditional love. Be the ocean. the drop in the ocean that becomes the ocean that can soar through the cosmos, that contains the whole cosmos. Just swim. Let's breathe with this for a minute. It feels like a lot releasing. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's all of us. A lot wants to release around that. Let's just breathe with it and breathe. Let your heart center, that funnel that extends from the front of your chest. Let it be a breathing portal and breathe in that vibration of pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. And breathe that into your heart. And breathe that into any of the places of constriction in your body. Just focus your breath into those places and let those places be held, surrounded, contained, and permeated with pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. And if you need to, if your body wants to move in any way, or if your belly wants to be held, sometimes we feel unsafe in our bellies, and you can use your arms and cradle your belly and hold your belly space. Just hold it like a baby, comfort it, love it, nurture it, help it to feel safe. As you release the blocks, the barriers, the tension, the constriction, the old energies, those things that don't want to or don't easily resonate in the same vibration, the same frequencies with unconditional love. Just let that love move through and lift the vibrations of those places. If your body wants to move, you can give your body movement. If it wants to make a sound, give it permission to sound. Let yourself swim. Swim in the ocean of unconditional love and eternal compassion. And breathe. And finally, for the systems of cruelty, the people of cruelty that are perpetuating, whether they know it or not, perpetuating cruelty in the world, let's just imagine that unconditional love and pure divine light encapsulating and circling. Let's just kind of imagine them all in a ball at the center of the circle, and let that pure divine light and unconditional love surround and hold those places, as well as it shifts the vibration on those systems, those people, those places, those energies. Call it into one energy ball, and just invite that unconditional love and eternal compassion and the pure divine light and all of the forces of healing. Calling on the angels and the prophets, and calling on our source directly, calling on all of the healers, helpers, and guides. To hold all of that in unconditional love and compassion, to begin to release the blocks and barriers from within the systems and from within the people, and shift them so that they can receive the love, receive the compassion, so that they can consciously know the love and know the compassion and see beyond their ways, God willing, to be in love and compassion, to live in love and compassion. Anyone can experience a shift. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that when one knows compassion, one who knows compassion cannot sleep while his brothers and sisters go hungry. And I think for those of us who experience the pain and get overwhelmed with the thought of how this can even be a reality, we hold that level of compassion in our hearts and struggle with it. So as we pray and hold these broader systems, if you will, systems and people who have created the systems or perpetuate the systems of inequality and injustice, as we hold this in unconditional love, hold this in eternal compassion, we invite the vibrations of these systems to increase, the blocks and the barriers to dissolve into the ocean and to become love, so that our entire systems in our entire world, the systems that run our world and govern our world, can also increase in vibration and begin to live in harmony with unconditional love and compassion. And ours is not to know the how, but just to bring through that vibration. And invite all of these energies. And let's invite all the way to the core of the heart of the energies of the people, of the systems, the place that knows love. Let's invite the consciousness to awaken to the love. And have that shift in frequency that creates a change in heart, that creates a change in action. Holding and surrounding it in unconditional love. If there's a prayer or intention that you'd like to make for any of this right now, please offer that to your source. The angels, the healers, the helpers, the guides, the prophets, the saints. Offer your intention, offer your prayers for peace, for healing, for unconditional love, to shift us out of our patterns that keep us in discontent, that keep us living in the compromised states, I'll say, so that we can live in love, compassion, harmony, justice, equality, freedom, where we can all sleep peacefully, where we can all sleep peacefully at night, knowing that all of our brothers and sisters are cared for, that all of our animal friends and all of the beings of nature are cared for, that all of the plants and the water and the air is cared for, that our earth, our planet is cared for, is nurtured. I do honestly believe there is enough. We have enough. It's not a matter of not having enough. It's a matter of how we use what we have. that creates a sustainable environment and a peaceful world, a world of equality, of justice, a world where everybody has what they need in terms of food and water and clean air and shelter and clothing. We're all cared for and loved as one healthy body. If you remember from last week, I shared that in the conclusion, what was coming through is we are one body. And as a kind of a message from source that was coming through, if you will, if I can claim such a message from a messenger, was saying, this is my body. My body will heal itself. My body is healing itself now through coming into homeostasis, where all of the systems of the body can live in harmony and have health throughout the body. We are all cells in that one body, and we are all being cleansed and purified and healed so the one body can come into a healthy state as a whole. And it's the one body that is contained within the one cosmic womb of the eternal compassion. So let's take a moment for gratitude and ask again for help to move into that state in harmony with how our source and the one body wants to move, so that we can all be in harmony, in homeostasis, to bring health to the one body. The answer is love. The answer is love. Okay, and with that, I'm going to close the recording and open for the Q&A. And I invite you to share any experiences that you had, any insights, any ahas that you had, and appreciate anything that you have to share. If you're listening to the recording, you're welcome to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. We'll continue over the next several weeks, maybe even months, to go through some of these questions and to do this self-inquiry, self-exploration, individually and globally, as we explore the questions that need exploration in order for us to move into the era of peace. While you're at the website, joyfullylivingwellness.com, pick up your copy of the 10 Spiritual Principles of Our Human Existence. It's a one sheet that gives you a 10 principles, just a reminder of who you are, what we are, what this world is about, what this life is about. It also comes with a 15-minute guided meditation you can download and use as a part of your daily practice to help you to live in harmony with the unconditional love, the divine light, and the eternal compassion, that which we want to be in the world, which we want to see in the world. All right, and with that, I'm in the recording and opening for the Q&A. Thank you very much.